This is a video on how to create a GIF animation using GIMP. Um, GIMP has a really easy tool for animating, but the only problem is that it's only for GIF-based animations. So if your images are using more than 256 colors, you might want to reconsider the type of animation you're doing. This is really good for text-based or some type of animations that don't, contain a whole lot of colors. So what I'll do is I'll demonstrate a basic blinking eye animation here. So to start, open up a new image here, and I'm just going to keep the default image size there, and I'll create a background color of white. Okay, so for the first frame, now the way this is going to work is you've got layers in GIMP, and every time you add a layer, it adds the layer to the top. So the bottommost layer is considered layer 1, the topmost layer is considered the layer 2, 3, 4, 5, however many you have. So the same similar thing is going to happen when you create the animation. The first layer will become the first scene, the second layer the second scene, or I should say frame. The first layer is the first frame, second layer, second frame, and so on. So, during the tutorial, I might say now on the first frame or second layer or third frame. I may use them interchangeably. So, just kind of understand what I'm talking about there. So, okay, let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my paint tool here. I have it set at 100% hardness with some black. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a eyeball shape here. Okay, and I'm going to give it, just a few eyelashes here. I'm not going to go overboard, take too much time, but I am going to give it some kind of little eyeball color here. Let's see what color. Let's get this the right size here. I'm just trying to adjust the size here to get the pupil. Okay. Actually, I think I'm going to choose a blue color here for the eyeball. Okay, and then we'll take it back down a little bit for a pupil. There. Okay, good. Now we'll go ahead and set this back to 5. That's what I had it on. All right. So we've got a eyeball shape on our first layer here. Let's go ahead and duplicate that layer. All right, and this will become our frame 2, so we can rename that to frame 2 just so we don't get confused on what's going on with these frames here. Now I'm going to erase away areas that I don't need. So I'm just going to erase away okay, so I don't like that, so let me just real quick redraw that. It's a little hard to draw with a mouse. Yeah, let me get that, fill in, hit the eyeball here a little bit. It's gotten kind of out of whack. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and put these eyelashes back on. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate frame 2, rename it as frame 3. Okay, so for frame 3, we'll just do the same thing and erase away the part that we're going to redraw here, which I'll just do that. And we'll give it some lashes, probably at this point maybe curling downwards. Okay, Now we'll duplicate that one, and I'm just going to repeat this process here. I may not have had that many lashes to begin with, but that's okay. Okay, so now we've got frame 1, and I'll just go ahead and name that frame 1 just for consistency. So we've got frame 1, 2, 3, 4, and then what we'll want to do is, since we want the eyeball to open back up, I don't need to redraw all of them. And if you think about the way it's going to go from open to close and then close to open. So frame 4 is our closed one, so let's go ahead and duplicate that. Frame 3, we'll duplicate that, but we need to pull it to the top because, as I said, that's the way these frames will go based on the order that the layers are. Okay. All right, so now to view what our animation will look like, we can go to Filters, Animation, and Playback. What this will do is it'll bring up a window with where we have some controls here. So let's just go ahead and play. Nice. Okay. All right. So we've got an animated eyeball there. Good deal. Okay. So to export this, what we'll need to do is we'll do File, Export As. All right. And then just make sure you choose the proper folder. And then we'll need to name it as, I guess I'll call this Blinking Eye. Okay. Oh, we don't want it as a Ming. We need to change this to a GIF. So down here in the select file type by extension, we need to find GIF image, GIF image. Don't choose the animated. This is for something else. We want to use this one because this is what we can put on a web page. So we'll go ahead and choose GIF image with the extension of GIF and hit export. Now, don't be too quick with your clicks. You don't want to just hit export because you've got a checkbox here. You need to make sure it is checked as animation here. And then here are some settings that you can alter. I think that the default 100 milliseconds is fine. So let's go ahead and export that. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to go back into the folder. I'm going to go into the folder here, and I'm going to find the animation that I created, and we'll open it up. And if it asks you what to open it with, just say Explorer or Chrome. But this is what it'll look like on a web page. Okay, so in order to set this on an actual web page, you'll want to, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and I'm going to set it inside of a folder here that has images and an already made website. It's just a very simple website that I use for demonstrations. But now my image is remember, it's a GIF type, and it's called Blinking Eye with a dash there. So what I'll do is here on, I suppose, my index page is probably about as good as any. So I'm going to open that with Notepad here, and I am going to create, I'm going to go ahead and delete this. This was for another demonstration, but I'm going to go ahead and create an image tag here that refers to my blinking eye. And just to show you that it's just as easy. You know, you create the animated GIF, but you put it on a web page just the same way you would any other image that you are placing on a web page. So I have the image source, and I'm referring to my GIF image, and I've put my alt attribute in there. So I'll go ahead and hit save there. And then let's look at it on my index page here. This is my home page, and okay, it actually came up in another window here. Let me put it over here. Okay, yeah, so that's what it looks like on my web page, and that's how to make a simple animation in GIF. Like I said, you don't want to use millions of color images, but any image that is, you know, suitable for GIF would be fine for this. Well, that concludes this tutorial, and I hope you learned a lot.